that Owen Benjamin tried to poison my lasagna. That's how you're going to try and diss someone in a wheelchair? By saying that the wind blew them over? That's your slight jab at me, buddy? Nice try. Must be nice to try and make jokes like that. Found out about Owen Benjamin and the Unbearables. I can't remember exactly who told me about them. It might have been one of them who had reached out to me, actually. Long story short, in like March of 2018, I was looking to, of course, continue building the show, and I was looking for a group of networkers, kind of like-minded creative conservatives, and I was told about the Unbearables. I found out about Owen through the JRE podcast. To be honest, I wasn't really a big fan of him comedically. Like, I thought he was okay, but he wasn't, great. But I kind of liked what he was doing with the whole, anti-trans kids thing. That really spoke out to me. And in the beginning, the Unbearables seemed to be a great network. People who were doing creative stuff like art and design and podcasting and video production, parody, songs, musicianship, in the case of Chuck Boris, and just late night streams, which was how I met the original DZ guys. Of course, John Neary was my first interview for the brief period of time I was with the Bears. But here's the thing, Owen's not even a conservative. He's a fucking leftist, posing. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. How dare you! Owen is doing the shit that mass shooters do before they go out and do a school shooting. Here's my manifesto. We need to get rid of the weak people, and I'm not saying he's going to be the one to do this.
An Australian man who murdered his wife with a pair of scissors, stabbed her in the chest.
This is a warning to the general public about Owen Benjamin. We warned you. How dare you!
Must be nice.
According to him, the goat urinated on him first, in front of Amy.
all this gay talk is pissing off my German Shepherd.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting here live from NGC Studios here in South Florida, and we have a jam-packed show here tonight. I will be interviewing Sean Semenko of Uncensored America, and he will be talking about how he's bringing MILO Yiannopoulos to Penn State on November 3rd, and there's been some controversy surrounding that. But before we begin the show, I just want to address, something, because I've kind of been in the news this week a bit online, and I just want to express to you guys that most everyone who watches this show knows me, and I really do appreciate everyone who tunes in regularly to this program and supports me. With that being said, I'm the one who came up with this program, and I don't owe anyone anything for this program. Just because I may or may not have had a guest on in the past doesn't mean I owe them everything. And that doesn't mean that just because I had one guest on one time, that does not make them exempt from being criticized, or ridiculed when they do, stupid things. So, I'm not going to get too dragged into all this internet drama, but I just want to thank the people who, support the show. I want to thank them for continuously supporting me, and, for the people who are letting me live rent free in their head. You know, that's your prerogative, I guess. But at any rate, let me check in with my guests here. So I will, I'll be right back, and we will see where our guests are in terms of prepping the stream. So they should be here in a sec. All right, guys. So we are back here. I just had to take a quick break just to check to make sure my guests were ready. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, and I realize we have people that are coming in, my guests this week, guests plural, are Sean Semenko, Dictator Phil, and Alex. And Sean is actually, he has skyrocketed to national prominence overnight almost, because for those who don't know, MILO Yiannopoulos is coming to Penn State on November 3rd, and Sean is the man responsible for that, for all intents and purposes. And, Sean, you've been dealing with drama all week. I've been dealing with drama all week in another corner of the internet. So, what's going on, man? It's great to have you on the program. And how did this all start?
Well, I want to say, first of all, thank you for calling me this week in support of me, because it's been a crazy week. I feel like it hasn't even been a week. It feels like it's been a month since we announced this thing, because so much has happened in such a short period of time. But we announced it on Friday of last week, not the Friday we just had yesterday, but last week. And I put up a shit ton of flyers over the weekend, but it didn't blow up till Monday, which is when we put up this poster in our student center that said, MILO, November 3rd, 8 p.m., pray the gay away. And it was that title that got us to where we are today. Is that title that made everybody lose their minds, made the college Republicans at Penn State disavow, the student government disavow, the college Democrats disavow, and even fucking Thon, a cancer charity, a charity for cancer children, disavow. The university disavow. Everyone disavowed. Even Turning Point kinda disavowed. They didn't give a formal statement, but I know at their meeting they disavowed and banned me from their chats. and ban me from their meetings, and college Republicans, at least they only threatened to ban me from meetings. They didn't actually do it, but they did threaten. And I've been doxxed 4 times. I've gotten only 1 death threat, which is disappointing. I expected more. And this thing has just been skyrocketing, especially during midweek. It's been doing great. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait till it happens.
Do you think that that Penn State is going to try and cancel the event? I mean, I know that they...
No.
Well, if they could have done it, they would have already done it by now. They really were not happy with it.
They're not happy with it, but they know they can't do shit about it because they, in their statement, which I will actually pull up now, they basically admit this is inevitable. MILO is inevitable. It's unstoppable, and they ain't going to do anything to stop it because they can't do anything to stop it. I know in a lot of cases, people are rightfully under the impression that universities can just pull the plug on speakers they don't like, which I guess they can, but I will be quite honest with you. Through this process, and Penn State might be different, but again, it's a public university like Ohio State and other universities. I kind of think some of the students are fucking it up. I'm just being honest because if Penn State says like, hey, we can't stop it, what's to say that other universities can't say the same thing? So I'm just wondering, might have to dive more into these things, but and we're going to have counter protests. We're going to have wonderful counter protests. The Students Against Sexist Violence, whatever that means, are going to be holding the counter protests. And then Penn State pushed this LGBT group to hold their own event in the hub to kind of pull away from the protesters. So it's pretty funny.
So one question I've been hearing all week that I've actually gotten from some people is, why MILO? Why not someone else? Why not someone else?
Why not? Because really, he is patient zero of all of the modern forms of censorship we've seen, tech censorship and cancel culture. He's the first one of, if not the first victim to a lot of these, and nobody fights for him, stands up for him, or hosts him, or lets him speak. That's literally everything wrong with what's going on now, free speech. The government can theoretically censor you and break the law, but they're not the real threat. The real threat to free speech is censorship and cancel culture, mostly done by private megacorps or your outrage mob on Twitter. It's not coming from the government, even though it does in some ways, but it's mostly not coming from the government. It's just coming from their social censorship that is rampant. He's one of the biggest victims of it.
I think censorship definitely is a problem on campus, for sure. And I personally think having MILO on would be a good idea for any campus. There are those who are asking, though, the counterpoint is that MILO is just a shit stir, and that's all he is. So, I
keep seeing that from people in Turning Point and some of these more quote-unquote moderate lefties, and I'm like, first of all, who cares? Like, yeah, they're provocateurs, sure. Like, why is that a reason to not invite somebody? Because I keep hearing, oh, he's not very sensitive. He doesn't bring much value. I'm like, you don't bring much value to this conversation by saying that, because literally that is the point of free speech, is you have these people and you should be able to have an environment where it's acceptable. And that's the problem, is that this proves our point, which is that we do not live in a free speech environment. We have it protected by law from government censorship, but we don't have an actual environment where we can live and speak freely without getting canceled, fired from your job, censored by big tech, or just intimidate in general.
Yeah,
So-
let me say.
Sure.
Sorry to interrupt. Let me just say a couple things. We'll just debunk some shit for some of the people that just don't like. I don't think they understand, or they're not really in tune much.
Is anybody else hearing that stack?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like some static going on, I guess.
Who is it?
Name the static.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
right? So okay, so one of the complaints when we were looking on social media was hate speech is not free speech. Well, one, I don't necessarily view this as whatever you define as hate speech. I don't know. To me, I think hate speech isn't real, right? I don't think it's real. And two, even if it was, it's still protected under the First Amendment, right? Wow, that static is getting bad.
That's coming from you, Sam. I think it's your computer fans.
Yeah, it probably is my fan. I have it. Let me see here.
I can't hear it now. I think you're good. I think you just gotta move your mic.
Yeah. I just moved my computer farther away from the mic. So.
Okay,
cool.
we're good now.
All right. So yeah. So hate speech is not free speech. That's a fucking lie. Not what we're promoting whatever hate speech is, which I don't even believe that hate speech is even a thing. But even then, that sort of speech is still protected under the First Amendment. Second, wait, you were gonna say something?
No.
Okay, cool. Okay. So and then the other thing that the other comments that we got, one other piece of the comments that we got were, well, I don't want my student fees going to pay for this speaker. And it's like, well, these people are students. They want Milo to speak. And so like if I'm paying money to fund your speakers, some of them I can't fucking stand, then what's the big issue with Milo?
And can you explain for the viewers at home, either one of you, how that exactly works? Because I don't think people fully understand how student speaker fees work for that.
Well, from my understanding, and Sean, you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're the one who's had tons of experience with it, but out of everyone's student fees, a certain portion of it, at least at Penn State, goes to student activity or student affairs fees, which is used by the university to whenever someone wants to go and fund a speaker, they'll use that pot of money to do it. And I forget what it was at Penn State, but there was a ratio you had to fund 10% of it yourself, and the school picks up the rest. But I think it's only up to a certain amount, or else you have to ask for additional funds. But basically, if they give any of those funds to one political cause, by law, they'd have, if they're a public institution, they'd have to go for the other, political parties. So in essence, it means, they can't discriminate against the, content of it on politics.
Right.
Yes, that is all 100% correct. Everybody that keeps complaining about, wait, the fees are going to this. Bitch, do you know how many leftist events I have to deal with every day on this campus when I was a student? They have something every day. So they have hundreds of their events every year, if not thousands. And we just want one little event, and everybody loses their minds.
Well, hold on though. It's not just that, because from what I've read, the student fees only partially fund this thing, but you guys
mostly fund it. Mostly. Okay. When you request funding for an event, UPAC, which is like the funding people, they do all the funding stuff. They will fund 90% of your event, and you have to cover the remaining 10%. And don't even know of a case where something hasn't been funding. There have been, you can get denied funding, but usually when you're just doing something stupid, like I want to have a party where we slide down the frat roof and into a small pool. Will you fund the pool and the slide on the roof? No, because that's a danger to students. It'll be stuff like that. Or it's like or if you're like, hey, I want to fund a trip to the range trip where we all buy AR-15s. Can the school buy the AR-15s?
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no.
What?
It's usually things that are dangerous or things that are, I forget some of the other exceptions, but they have to be politically neutral, and to give credit where credit's due, they do follow that. They could have said, well, Milo is a potential threat to campus, his presence alone, which is totally a lot. Like, you can't make that argument legally. That's like the Hegler's veto. It's like, oh, somebody's presence is just a threat. You can't really have any legitimacy with that, because then you couldn't walk anywhere or do anything without being a threat, which is absolutely silly. You're not initiating any sort of violence or action. You're just existing, So you might have to move your computer back again by I'm hearing the fan. But that's the breakdown of how it works. And I'm looking up how much of your tuition is actually student fees. From my understanding, it's not that much.
Right, because that's what a bunch of the think pieces like on Medium that I've read have all made it seem like that the university is essentially like paying entirely for Milo to come to campus.
Yeah, I mean, they're mostly, like I said, it's 90%, but this idea that this is like a school event and the school's paying for it completely is a total lie. And that's where Penn State was getting scared, because when we put those posters up, they said, here's a fun story. They said that our name need to be, for the organization, need to be clearly on it. And the reason they're saying, and I know that's a rule, like, don't get me wrong, I understood that, but I thought our logo on there would be enough. It's not. And they're worried about their brand and their image getting tarnished and them getting bad PR. So that's why they were flipping out, but they never rejected it. They should have told us. I gave them the posters, and she put them right up. Not only did she put them up, she put one of them below. I'll find the image. Below the LGBTQ History Month poster. Optics check? Great. Love it. 10 out of 10. Oh, it's funny.
So I know that you said you have a few articles that you would like to share. I'd like to go over some of those with you if if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. I'll pull some up in 1 second. I'm gonna find that picture, and I'll also read through Penn State's statement, because it could have been worse. Like, there's a lot of slander in there, a lot of lies, but it could have been worse. Find that picture, and I'll find some articles, because there's so many articles about this thing already. It's crazy. I'm trying to find the picture, but it's taking slow to load this.
And for the folks watching and or listening at home, I mean, if you Google Milo I mean, you don't even have to Google it. Like, Milo going to Penn State is big news right now. Like, in politics, and it's like I said at the very beginning of the show, it's been an interesting week, to say the least. I've been in some drama, and then some, one of my friends is in drama on a national scale.
Yeah, it's been a crazy freaking week. I found the picture. There it is. It's on my screen right now. There's our poster, and then there's their poster. They put it there. It wasn't me. I would have put it there, but no, they put it there. It's hilarious. So, guys, don't get big mad at me for this. Look at that. That's amazing. Oh, and there's more to the story about the poster, I'll say real quick.
Oh.
So, when they realized that Arden wasn't on there, which is legit, I get it. They didn't tell me, but I get it. They took it down. And it was only up a few hours, but it already fucking gave us like 100 ticket sales throughout the day with all the press coming out. And once they took our poster down, we had to remake it. So that took a whole day because they're so slow there. Because we're short staffed. I'm like, you just got to hit freaking print and then brr. And I can just like, even I could have put up myself, but they wouldn't let me. But they put it back up. And I don't even think it lasted 24 hours. And somebody pulled the plastic sheet that's covering it, because it's in like a plastic metal display case. They pulled the plastic off. They pulled the metal. It easily flips open. But they did all this, pulled the poster out, and ripped it to shreds. And I was chancing encounters. I was walking through the student center at like 10:30 at night, and I was looking for it just to make sure it was up. I didn't see it, and then I walked past a janitor who was holding it in pieces. I can hear your fan again, Sam. And I talked to him about it, and he said, yeah, they ripped it up. We're pulling the security tapes, but they probably have masks on, so probably not going to be able to do anything. And I was walking out the fucking door, and I see these people putting paper on the door, and I thought, holy shit, you guys caught me at the wrong time. And it was the protesters, no counter to them. The anti-Milo protesters were putting their signs up to protest Milo, and I got some video of them putting those up, but it wasn't very good video because I had to move so quickly, and I tried following them, but they ran away.
Pussies.
Yeah, they're pathetic.
Yeah, and for those of you watching right now, I have the video on Sean's Twitter right now of these student protesters outside one of the areas, and it says
They're outside the student center.
yeah, combat and resist sexist violence.
Combat.
It's like it feels.
What does that mean?
Well, it looks like a cover Antifa, like an Antifa-ish organization. That's what it kind of looks like.
That's what it does look like.
Like a cover Antifa. Because they're not gonna. Because most of these Antifa organizations aren't gonna say that they're Antifa directly, because like they're not very like a large chunk of the world doesn't like them. But like. But you're, so a lot of them are getting a little stealthy now, and so they come up with these idiotic names for their organization or whatever. And yeah, one of them tried to dox you, huh? Or I actually did.
So yeah, that happened pretty quickly throughout the week. I think it was on Tuesday. It was Tuesday or Wednesday. It was like the scary day when what happened? I'm trying to think of all the things that happened because it's been so much. But one of my friends came to me and said, "Hey, did you see this?" And they showed me in their group, this lady sent something, and she was in one of these Penn State parent groups, and they sent screenshots of my Twitter, what else? They sent a few things. I can actually find screenshots. But they sent to Twitter, and they sent a bunch of other things. And lastly, they sent a site. I didn't know this was a thing, where you could take somebody's URL to their site, take the domain, I should actually say. You put it in, it runs it, and it will tell you who owns this site. And I don't know if it's going off the domain or the hosting service.
That's basic who is information.
Well, yeah, the site's called Who Is. It's like whois.is.
Well, no, there's other ones. It's whenever you make a website, it has to have that information on it. It's publicly available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's publicly Well, how? Let me put it this way: how is it publicly um discover? Like, I won't say reachable, but like, there's a way to get it, but it's not exactly easy to find.
There's services you can get, or like web hosts that'll hide it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be able to do stuff with that.
Well, that and here. Oh, you want a scam? You want a scam? Here's a scam on that site where they ID you. They say, "Pay X number of dollars a month," and people won't see this.
Yeah, it's see that it is a bit of a scam.
It's a
but
scam.
yeah, so
It's a
extortion.
scam. Yeah,
an
it's a
extortion.
scam. Yeah, it totally is. But they found that, so they found my name, my number, my email address, and then this was the funny part. They found my address, but and they quickly realized this. I hope they didn't just harm this poor person. They had my dorm address from 2 years ago. So I kind of dodged a bullet there, to be honest, because don't get any ideas, you fuckers listening. But I did dodge that bullet, but they got my real address. You guys will have seen some legal action against that. Cops would have been called, lawyers would have been called because it's so fucked up, and it's hilarious that they kind of failed at that, but it's still kind of concerning to say the least. And then some other guy posted that shit on Instagram, and then somebody else did too somewhere else. I forget what the third person did. And then the fourth one was this dude standing out here. You could see in the video I was just playing. The one person all dressed in black. He looks like some like dopey Antifa. Tells the guy like, "Hey, that's the guy who led the event, Sean." And then he starts like yelling at me.
Wait. So they posted your docs on Instagram then?
They post on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, did you report those?
Well, I could report the Instagram. I couldn't report the Facebook. That's why I was trying to get people into the group, and I think somebody did and did report it.
Good shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I was going to say, there's no... I mean, obviously posting that type of information to Instagram is against TOS, clearly.
Yeah, and I have to check see if that one was removed. I know the Facebook one got removed, but I don't know about this one. The first one that came from fucking parents. It was parents that doxed me.
Really? How'd you find that out then?
Because it was in this group, this Penn State group of parents. It was called Penn State Parents or something like that.
And so then, did your parents find out about it?
Thankfully not, but they're not in this sort of things. I don't even know if they know what Facebook groups are, frankly. So I was fine for the most part that I know of, but they know who the villain behind all this is. They know who the Emperor Palpatine is here. But yeah, like these people outside the hub, though, I'll talk about that real quick before we dive into articles. They were standing there handing out the flyers for the protest, and this was, I think, right after the night where they threw all the flyers up everywhere, and I caught one of them. But they were standing there and trying to get people to join, and then I started filming them, and then when one of them knows who I was, they named me, and I kept trying to, because then, if you listen to it, I'm not going to play it because we're talking, but he's like a broken record. He's like, Milo Yiannopoulos is a racist, is a sexist, is a homophobic, Islamophobic, bigot. He is an imperialist. I was like, what imperialist?
Yeah, it's an insult. Who cares?
Yeah, as if that's an insult. No, but he's like, he's a backwards imperialist racist.
Well,
He just kept throwing out all these isms and ists and shit like that.
well, imperialist is the new Nazi, Sean. Don't you know?
Yeah, it's Nazism in 2021. It's a 2021 version being called Nazi.
Also, John Arcade says regarding your docs, just wait till you find out that it's on 4chan.
Oh God. Oh God.
Honestly, I'm surprised it. Well, now I'm not saying I wish this on you, but I'm honestly surprised that it's not on 4chan.
What's 4chan gonna care?
They're gonna go, this kid's based.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Like, they really gonna give a fuck? 4chan's not the type that I'd probably give a fuck over this. They'd be like, not your army, call you some choice words.
Yeah. We won't repeat those on air.
Yeah, they're not. 4chan's not the type of group that would care for this sort of shit.
Do you want to know, by the way, I found the student fees thing. So you want to know how much the total of student initiated fees are? This isn't even the activity fees technically, it's a whole bunch of other things. But total student initiated fees, I guess, per person, $265.
Do you have like
$265.
do you have a web page that breaks that down so I can?
I do. I'll post it in Chad's.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that you're sharing on your stream, if you can drop it in chat so I can share it with our viewers over here. Okay.
And you want to know how much is activities? $68.43. So you lost basically what, a fucking copy of GTA? That's it. That's how much you're paying for hate to come to campus, quote unquote hate. Give me a break. Actually, it's probably not even that. Let's be real here. Let's divide that up by how many of the other events that happen. They're probably only paying $1 at most for this to happen per student.
Yeah, it's not out of the ordinary for these sorts of things. Yeah, they want you to go and pay those fees. They want to have those things, and then when it's used against them, they get all pissy. Well, you're the ones who won the fees to begin with. You reap what you sow.
Yeah. And also with those losers that were outside the hub, like trying to dox me. You know what's really funny is when they're describing Milo, they're like, Milo Yiannopoulos is a racist, is a sexist, is an Islamophobe. And then when they found out who I was, it was just like the code just got fucking like switched. He changes a word of the code. They're like, Sean Semenko is a racist, is a sexist, is an Islamophobe. I'm like, what? Like, you people are so retarded. You were just literally just, oh, we don't like this person. Let's just throw all the isms at him. Let's make them look bad. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's like they know. Actually, I say they kind of do know what they're doing. It's just we're just gonna slander you because we don't like you.
Well, they literally are participating in NPC behavior. They literally
it's total NPC. That's a good analogy.
Also, your your university may be more expensive than mine, but damn it, if your activity fees isn't cheaper than mine.
That makes sense. Well, that makes sense because it's so big. You don't need as many fees for shit because you can already, because of the law of large numbers.
That makes sense.
Just kind of an interesting aside here. So.
Yeah, no, that's good. And the other thing too, by the way, is with these guys standing outside, I started confronting them. I didn't share this video yet because I need to find the best bits to share because I took like 4 videos, and I tried confronting the guy. I said, "How?" Because he first said Milo is a violent individual. I'm like, okay. how? And I said, how is Milo violent? And he wouldn't answer me, just kept going. I kept pressing him. He never answered my questions. And then he turns to his people. He's like, should I keep going? They're like, yeah. Milo is a racist, is a sexist. Like, he just kept going. Like, okay, repeat code. And he never answered my questions. And when he started going after me, I started going after him harder. Never said a thing. He started saying I was following him around.
What
I'm
is
like,
this?
bitch, you're pacing, and I'm just turning my camera back and forth. Might move a few steps, but that's it. I'm trying to remember what else he said. Oh, yeah, the only correct thing he said was, "I'm not a student." That was the only thing he had on me.
Okay, you got me.
Yeah, you got me.
It's one thing that's right out of all your shit.
You're an alumni.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then, no, the best part was he said something like, he's so disgusting that even Turning Point USA has disavowed him as an opportunistic, individualistic scumbag.
Individualistic, that's you know.
That's kind of good.
Big whoop! You got. Hey.
I just got owned.
Hey, listen. In my audience's viewpoint, getting I think I speak for I know I speak for myself, but speaking for my audience, I know that getting disavowed by Turning Point is actually a win.
I know. I literally said on the video too. When he said the second time, I was just like, based. Like, how is this a bad thing, dude? Like, Christ. Oh, I think these people are Antifa. Like, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna libel slander them or anything like that. But they just look it. I wouldn't be surprised if they are. We'll see on Wednesday. We'll see if the black bloc is out. But one of the dudes is all dressed in black. The other one had like a white hoodie on. But
White hoodie. Yeah, and they're calling you the racist one?
yeah,
So
he's got his white hood up.
So, Sean, have there been any thought pieces written about you specifically?
Thought piece.
I'm surprised an op-ed hasn't been written because they did one in the Collegian for Sargon, but I think the left has kind of learned their lesson a bit, which is let's not take the bait. And that's even what the university said. And I bet they pressured the Collegian not to write an op-ed and not to write a piece in the printed version because they didn't. They did put a digital article out, but and I can pull those up. But there's been a lot of mean, nasty, hateful comments. If you look on the Uncensored America Instagram, that's the one that really blew up. There's hundreds of comments. I think it's over 500 on it, and it's all the same stuff. Disgusting, an embarrassment. Why are my student fees going to this? Hate speech is not free speech. It's like the same things over and over again. Just every comment's the same stupid low IQ take. I'm like, this is why we're doing this. Like, I started replying to some of them, but I just eventually got tired of it.
Were you called retarded by a 40-year-old man this week?
No, but I think a 40-year-old man did that to them.
Yeah. No, there was one. So I totally had fun with it. Like, I got to be honest with you. I completely had fun with it. What do you mean good? You saw him. Like, you were liking what I was saying. What are you talking about? Anyway,
yeah, that's good. I'm glad you had fun.
No, it was like there was one that was like that was saying how does it feel knowing that I probably get more pussy than you do? And like a female was like, "Oh, how does it feel knowing that I get more pussy than you?" She was trying to be cute, and then of course,
yeah, because I'm a lesbian.
She's probably thinking, she's probably saying she's straight, and because of that, like, she's trying to attack you at that angle, like I'm not even a lesbian and I get more pussy than you. That was the whole insult, but of course, moi, I had to reply, like, look, okay, so this guy has turned down women hotter than you. This guy has a girlfriend that is way hotter than you right now as we speak.
Oh,
Way hotter than you right
congratulations.
now. And not only that, you bitch, you're fucking hideous. Like I wouldn't fuck you to save a dying puppy. And I'm a dog person, okay? I love dogs.
Oh my god,
If I could
King.
if you gave if this girl told me, "Hey, you have to fuck me, or else that puppy's gonna die," and he looks at me with like this wide-eyed, like fucking, I would let that fucking dog die before I fucked you. Okay, so yeah, I never got a response back from that one, of course, but you know.
All right. So for the folks watching and listening on my stream, so apparently the University Park Allocation Committee released a
Yep.
statement regarding your guys' event, which I would like to.
They did.
Which I mean, would you like to read it or should I? That's the question.
I mean, I can read it. I was reading it last night, but yeah, they did. It was funny because all of it's pretty good, except with the usual disclaimers they got put, like, when we find a speaker offensive and disgusting. I don't care. Stop. You. Why has everybody got to say that as like this cover? But no, they released their statement.
They have to because it's listen, Sean. I'm a communications major and you're a marketing major. It's PR. They call it public relations, but in reality, it's
CYA.
It's covering your own ass, basically.
Well, see, I would prefer, and I know they're not going to do this, but like, if you want to go the safe route, you could say something like, "I don't agree with everything." Many people may not like this person, where you're kind of not giving your opinion, but saying how other people feel. But it's just like, oh, so many bitch moves, and then we got to dig into the bitch moves from the CRs and Turning Point, because that's more of a problem. UPAC. Let me find her Twitter.
So let me read this whole thing for the audio listeners.
Yeah, good idea. I'll pull it up for the video listeners or watchers.
Yeah, I already have it up there on mine. So, in an effort to address concerns regarding the funding of the speaker Milo Yiannopoulos at an event hosted by Uncensored America, we have declined to release a statement that explicitly outlines our position as the University Park Allocation Committee, UPAC. Remaining viewpoint neutral is an integral part of the role we play in judicially allocating a portion of the student fee to enhance the student experience here at University Park. Word salad. The student fees are intended to be allocated towards initiatives that represent the diverse viewpoints and perspectives of our student body. With that said, it is our never goal to dehumanize a marginalized sector. There's that word again, marginalized.
Marginalized.
Of our student demographic, or to support effects that are harmful to the progress being made to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. Please note the content of any event speakers reside solely with the speakers in their respective program and not with the University Park Allocation Committee. Based on court decisions, allocating boards such as UPAC must make decisions that are viewpoint neutral, decisions that are not based on religious, political, or personal views. All viewpoints, including those that are controversial, must have equal chance of receiving funding, as in all allocation decisions. As in all allocation decisions, UPAC allocated funding towards this event, considering our principle of viewpoint neutrality. Okay, so That's actually not bad then.
No, and that's consistent with their policies. It's the second page that sucks.
Oh, let me go on to.
But wait, there's more, Sam.
Oh, okay. Hold up, folks. Wait, there's
Yep.
more. Let it be clear that UPAC and the students at Compromised Organization do not explicitly share the viewpoints held by MILO Yiannopoulos. Really? Did you guys all get together and like decide that as a whole? That's what I want to know. The nature of his commentary is both highly offensive and dangerous to a community that too often faces discrimination.
Oh, give me a break. How is calling people fat a dangerous to a community? Clearly, he just makes fat jokes.
Wait,
come on.
Well,
They're gonna blame like if so basically if a fat person fucking if you shame them and they kill themselves, then they're gonna blame you for fucking like it's your fault because you shamed them into suicide or whatever.
well, I mean, fat people. Fat people are dying in record numbers because of COVID and comorbidities and obesity.
No. COVID-19 will beat the shit out of you way faster than I ever could, right?
Yeah.
I don't have the ability to beat you as much as Mother Nature has, okay? Stop it.
Yeah, I think that's more of a threat than a poster in the hub. Wouldn't you say?
You know what's a threat to fat people? Fucking Twinkies, okay? How about that? How about
You know what's a threat to gay
McDonald's?
people?
How about McDonald's French fries? Okay, how about that? You had to go. You want to eat that fucking second serving of a hot fudge sundae? Okay, yeah, you're gonna be dead by tomorrow. Okay, I'm sorry. Right, my words are nowhere close to the scale of greasy, disgusting food, okay? That you shove down your fucking disgusting carcass, okay?
Your carcass.
McDonald's really isn't even that good anymore. It's not.
No,
I tried eating.
I mean, it's never been good for you.
no, it's
Well, no,
that's
but it doesn't taste good anymore.
Oh, I think it's still all right. I mean, it's
all it
fast
does-
food.
The only thing it does is it fills up your stomach for the next fucking meal, right? That there's no nutritional value. Not really. Like, I mean, everybody's seen Super Size Me, okay? Like that, you know that this shit is damaging. Okay, and I'm sorry. Like, if you're big and you make these bad decisions, it's like, I'm sorry, that's not my fault.
No,
that is your fault.
No, Phil. What you fail to understand is that all these fat people have thyroid problems. My boy.
It's a glandular problem.
Dude,
No, yeah.
they just
Have you ever
need
seen?
to hit the treadmill.
Has anybody seen The Biggest Loser? People do this shit all the time, right? People drop weights, change their lifestyle. It's like, no, you want to eat. You want to eat until you're dead. Okay, that's like, yeah, no, that's not a me problem. Okay, that is a you problem.
Is The Biggest Loser even on anymore?
It is, but it's on another channel. But
I would have thought that cancel culture would have already come for.
Yeah, I mean, probably it's no longer. I don't think it's on NBC anymore. But I think it was on the last season was on USA Network or whatever. Anyway,
I used to have
that might have been their idea of canceling. Like, we're not going to put you on the mainstream network. We're going to put you on one of the side fucking networks. That's like the cancel part. Anyway.
Side note: I kind of used to have a crush on Julian Michaels up until I found out she was a lesbian.
Wow, I mean, I think. Look, and not only that. Okay, look, and even Jillian Michaels got fucking canceled, right? Even for saying that. You remember when she said that shit about Lizzo? Right, where why, like she was saying, like Jillian Michaels was saying, well, why are we glorifying shit, the some of the stuff that Lizzo's doing? Like no, that's dangerous, and she's right, but of course, the liberal brigade went after her ass. But,
So the left canceled a hot lesbian for not hot black woman. Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, but she's saying that what she was saying was what Jillian Michaels was saying was factually correct, right? It's like, if you continue that big lifestyle, right, odds are you're gonna fucking die way earlier than and it was like, like heart disease and diabetes. You'll like, what the fuck? And of course, the liberal brigade went after her like a motherfucker. By the way, that static's going off again.
Oh yeah, that might be that's probably on my mic then. So yeah, wow, I expected more of Johnny Says the biggest loser. Yeah, yeah, Owen's on right now. Oh, good one.
Owen's on The Biggest Loser now. Oh, I see.
Oh boy. Let me bring out the drink. I didn't bring it out yet.
Yeah, I gotta take a swig. Everybody take one.
I'm
And it's like, and you would think that healthy lifestyles would be encouraged even more right now, right? Because we got this whole apparently we have some national pandemic that they're basically forcing us to get a fucking vaccine for. You would think that, if they're gonna make us take these pharmaceuticals, they'd at least try to, preach eating a salad or some shit.
But Phil, listen. For the sake of YouTube, I have to disclaim that the vaccine is totally safe and effective. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The vaccine is effective and safe. Was that believable? Was that believable here? Okay.
I believe you. I totally believe you.
Well, it doesn't matter if I believe you. Does Mama Susan believe?
Yeah.
Believe
That's a
you?
good question.
That's the question. So.
If you get kicked off of YouTube, my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh,
no,
believe me. If I get kicked off YouTube, it'll probably be for calling Julian Michaels a hot lesbian, which I don't know why, because that's a compliment. But
like it's and not okay. So here's my thing with the Milo event. Like, I don't agree with everything that Milo says, right? But obviously I'm a very big free speech advocate. I believe that, if you're like silencing just isn't effective. It's just not effective, right? And not only that, like if you want to debunk something, or if you want to get rid of an opinion you don't like or you don't agree with, challenge it, right? Challenge it, right? So, like, for me, I'm saying, like, okay, if I you bet your ass, like, I'm going to be there. Not only am I going to be there, but I'm likely going to challenge Milo, right? I'm going to do it, right? And I got to say, and you guys know me, right? I'm as blunt as it gets, right? I'm honest as it gets, right? So I would think that right there would probably be well worth the price of admission, right? Well worth it, right? And I mean, I mean, Milo, he was nice to me, but I mean, of course, Look, I'm not gonna say that, just because somebody's nice or not nice to me, that I don't agree with his or her opinion or it or whatever. Like, I'm going to, like, look, I'm gonna listen to what he says, and if I don't like any of it, I'm going to challenge it. Okay. You guys have known me long enough by now. You know how I roll. Okay. And I feel like because I feel like that's the way it's supposed to happen.
You don't roll though, Phil. That's my job.
Well, I mean, the roll. Okay.
Took me a while to get that, but I got
roll. That. Okay. Now, I deny all accusations pointed against me at this time. Please refer to my legal counsel for any questions regarding myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No,
Sam, you always roll well. You
Well,
roll into any conversation.
Yep. What do I do? I mean,
Well, the rest of that statement, though, that you were reading, they go on to say, it is our goal to facilitate a safe and welcoming environment for all students of Penn State. We understand how this program directly contradicts those efforts. How does it contradict having a safe and welcoming environment? It's a fucking poster. We will continue to explore ways in which the policies in which we adhere meet the values as hold as an outcome by and provide equal opportunity to all students. Following resource may be helpful for students during this time. Jesus Christ, cringe. What are these resources? The Penn State Counseling and Psychological Services report by Center for Sexual and Gender Diversity. Who cares?
That rolls right off the tongue, but go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, freaking stupid. And do you want to know did you see what the counter event is, Sam?
There's a counter event, guys?
Yeah, see, there's not just a counter protest, there's also a counter event. So Penn State, I'm guessing, pushed this LGBT group, which I guess is part of the university. I don't know. I'm very confused how this shit works. To do a counter event, like an alt event to us. Because they are scared of protests. And I'll read their statement, which shows the proof of that. But I can't find this page. Gender Equity Center, yeah, they'll have it. The group the CRs love to take selfies with. Yeah, here it is. They have an event. There's their tweet. We're aware of the MILO Yiannopoulos event on campus. Damn right you are. And working to support students who have and will be impacted by the advertisements and hateful rhetoric. How the fuck are you impacted by an advertisement?
Because they're fucking pussies. That's how.
Yeah, I know. It's God.
I mean, like,
they act like it's PTSD. It's like
at least so I'll say this one thing. Look, at least the college Republicans were like, we have no comment. Right? It was like, we defend the right to speech, but we have no comment. At least there was that. Like, but I mean, I'll at least give them that much, right?
I'm kind of conflicted if that's a good or a bad thing, and here's why. Because on the one hand, it's like, okay, I'm glad they didn't say anything negative about MILO publicly, but at the same time, I know behind the scenes they all hate this event, hate me, and hate everything about it. The one person even was like saying she was gonna have like fucking like nervous attack, like anxiety attacks over it. I'm like, get a grip.
Yeah, I mean, now I do agree with that, but I mean, there's at the same time, it's like, like there's they don't want these are people that don't want to be seen with MILO because there's like ripple effects because there's other things, like because there's other like politicians and there's other organizations,
right? So why even bother making a statement? That's what I don't like. It's just if you don't like it, shut up about it. That's my attitude.
Well, to be fair, like, so if you made no statement, then it's almost a guilty by association kind of thing. Like,
But
if an
that's a leftist
the optic,
viewpoint on things. The
Well,
silence is violence.
they have the leftist viewpoint though.
Oh, that's true.
mean-
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. I take back what I said.
there's an optics play, which I mean, you know, agree or disagree. I mean, it kind of is what it is. I mean, I'm not as upset with college Republicans as I am the other organizations. Like, I'm definitely.
I agree. I agree with that.
Turning Point. Holy fuck, man.
Yeah, I have some harsh words for them next.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
because the thing I really am just very pathetic about Republicans in general is they never defend their own. And as much as I don't like when they don't say anything about, like, when Milo gets canceled or something like that, at least they're not going out of their way to make some silly statement and, like, you know, stuff like that. I would have, if the college Republican statement was just literally, we stand for free speech, even if you don't like it, I would have been fine with it. I would have been a little disappointed. I'm like, come on, guys, like, give us a little bit more. But, like, I would get their position to the point that, yeah, that's probably the best statement they could do. My problem is they have to invoke his name and they have to say we don't comment, which in my book, because I know what they really believe, it's a no comment is a way of saying, like, it's like an indirect disavow. Which Sean,
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm old enough to remember a time in history when Turning Point loved Milo. When they were...
Oh yeah, well, that statement was from CR, so to be clear, that was college Republicans. Turning Point hasn't released a statement, which is good. That's how they should play it. Don't fucking say anything if you don't like it. And, well, what happened with Turning Point, though... and by the way, this, because I want to close this page now and bring up some of the Turning Point stuff, if I can find it still. The counter event's called Love is Louder. Well, Milo can be pretty fucking loud, so you guys might be a bit overshadowed by that, overpowered. But with Turning Point, they didn't release a statement yet, but what they did instead, I'm gonna try and find one of these on Instagram. There's this post going around that's from the Valley Magazine, which is some sort of leftist magazine on campus. I don't want to say it's a gay or LGBT magazine. It might be, it might not be. I honestly don't know. Who the fuck reads this thing? Like, let's be real. Nobody. So they put this post, which took a picture of our poster, and they said, do better, Penn State. Do better, Penn State. And all of my so-called friends, my so-called fellow free speech warriors, reposted this same fucking post from this leftist magazine everywhere. All the college Republicans board members reposted it. The only one that didn't doesn't have social media. So there's one. It's only because he doesn't have social media. And with Turning Point, I think at least one of the board members did. One of them didn't, but I know he hates Milo for irrational reasons because he's an idiot. But the president has been cool with me on some levels, even though I have some other things to say that I might not say on air. But he is on my side in many ways. But the sharing of this post really infuriates me, especially with Turning Point people, because you are regurgitating leftist language. Do better, Penn State. Yeah. What the fuck does that mean?
Not only that, anything equity is like
cancer.
it's cancer. It's
I-
leftist cancer, right?
Yeah.
All equity is you're taking from one person and giving it to another. That is totally anti-conservative. That is anti-conservative as it gets, right?
It's an identity politics cancer, and that's why before anybody takes me out of context what I was saying, any of these groups that are called equality or equity are just gender
Equity.
politics cancer, or just
Equality, you have to ask, well, what kind of equality are you talking about?
yes,
Equity is pretty much taking from one person and giving it to another. Like that's some like communist level shit. Like,
yeah. That's a good distinction because it's not the gender equality center, it's the gender equity center,
correct.
and it's just also identity politics cancer, and like you said, taking from one group to give to another. But this Valley Mag tweet, like our Instagram post, you read the comments, and this is like leftist bullshit. Valley Magazine stands with not the LGBT community, LGBTQIA plus community of Penn State and a state college against MILO Wise event. I couldn't even say his last name, MILO Wise.
To be fair, it's a little bit of a complicated name. They might lack the facilities.
Yeah.
They can't Google it. Yeah, fair point.
We don't have enough characters on this tweet, okay? Chill the fuck out. All right?
No, it's an Instagram post. It's an Instagram post. There's lots of room. They could have fit it. I don't know maybe Instagram does have character limit. I don't know. But event at Penn State campus. Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. I've been able to write like full-length novels on Instagram.
Oh, so they just didn't want to name him fully. Milo's opinions. Oh, this is the best part. Radiate hatred.
Radiation.
Hatred.
Radioactive.
He radiates. Yeah, he's a radioactive ex-gay. Radiate hatred and promote violence. What? What opinions of his promote violence?
Yeah, no, it does not promote violence. It's like, and like again, we're there. It's like you're adopting leftist type shit.
Exactly.
Like you're adopting leftist type shit. Like that doesn't promote violence. Like no, like you know, who's the one? Richard Spencer, who was shouting the N-bomb repeatedly and directly targeting race shit that MILO actually fucking reported on, right? That might be, you know, fomenting violence or whatever. But it's a conversation. It's edgy.
Even then, unless you say, "Hey, I'm gonna go and beat you up, or I'm gonna kill you," you know, it's a fucking dick thing to do. But I don't know if that's violence. You know, being an asshole.
It can only rise to the level of harassment.
Yeah.
But this is a Valley Mags post. They continue to say his ideas. Is that ideals? His ideals include. Yeah, I think they meant to say ideas. His ideals include spreading the poisonous concept of conversion therapy, a practice that has been well documented causing severe harm and psychological trauma to its victims. They spelled it's wrong. His presence on campus is a direct threat to the safety of the entire LGBTQIA plus community. Speech that incites actions that harm others. God, the grammar in this is atrocious. Should not be permitted at our university. What fucking harm is it doing to anyone? Because his presence is a direct threat to the safety. His presence.
Unless I hear something different, what I hear from what MILO is trying to say is that he has an opinion of, you know, maybe the gay lifestyle might be destructive, and there's an argument that it might be, right? That's an argument. That's an argument, you know, and that's his opinion. And then he's offering his solution to that, which is like more of a therapy type thing, right? Which again, not like that's his opinion. That's not really fomenting. That's not really a threat. He's like, he has his opinion. He has his you know, and he's giving his solution. Now, do I agree with it? Not really. But I'm at least gonna hear again. I'm at least gonna hear him out, right? Let's hear what he says. Maybe he says something. Maybe he says something on Wednesday that I haven't heard before, or whatever. That might be. Now there is one thing. So I will say that there's one thing that I was kind of like about. I think it was an interview with Lauren Chen too. I think because I was trying.
Oh yeah, that was a good interview.
Yeah, that was a good interview. She's pretty good interviewer too, by the way.
And pretty hot.
That is. I was trying not to say that, but okay.
I said so you didn't have to.
Right, I appreciate it. But the one thing he said something like that along the lines of, shock therapy, right? That he would consider it, but he read it, but there was the reports that he read told him that it was ineffective. I'm like, so I was a little taken back by that because I'm like, well, so if you read the right report, are you really considering shocking gay people? Is that what you're trying to fucking tell me? Which I mean,
to be fair, I think if he were to actually do it, like I'm just guessing here, it would have to be consensual. I mean, I don't think you should do it because I don't think it is effective from what I've heard. But you know,
well, the whole thing with like electroconversion therapy is that like people think that they're just gonna like start like strapping gays down to like tables and shocking them, and it's like, for any of those medical procedures, like you have to have consent to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And what he's talking about too with conversion therapy is that most conversion therapy is not that. It's not the Mike Pence treatment. Right. And he's not, from what I understand, he's not advocating for that. But like you said, that comment did raise my eyebrows too, to be fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's not something, but I'm saying, okay, so I don't know enough of what he was talking about when he was saying that. So of course I'm gonna ask him about it, right? So, and that's literally the whole fucking point of having somebody there, right? That's literally the whole point. And if it's and if I hear something that's totally bullshit, I'm gonna, you know me, you know how I roll, okay? You think I'm gonna put up with that, with bullshit? Like, no.
But Phil, do you roll on Shabbos? People in the chat want to know.
What?
Do you roll on Shabbos?
I have no clue what that's even trying to say. Am I the only one that's retarded here and doesn't know what this means?
Like, what does that have to do with Hugo Chavez or whatever?
No. Do you roll on the Sabbath?
I thought it was a Jewish thing. I didn't want to say it. That's what I thought.
Do I roll on the Sabbath? I mean, if it's good enough, I mean, shit.
It's a big Lebowski reference.
Yeah, if it's good enough. Yeah. No, I did. I appreciated the reference.
Dude, Larry has a funny comment in the chat. Post-traumatic stress syndrome. Dude, I'm stealing that joke. That's great. Post-traumatic stress syndrome.
That is awesome.
I'm stealing that one. That's good. Thank you, Larry. Nothing wrong with debate. Yeah, and I have to emphasize what Phil says because that's what's so fucking irritating is when I hear people like, I don't agree with this thing he says. I think he's an asshole. I don't think he's very substantive. Well, come to the event and say that. Ask a question. Challenge him. It's got an open Q&A. This is the bloody point of free speech and doing this event. It's like, I mean, some people, man, they just drive me up a wall. I laugh at it because it's funny, but it's like, you know, I hate when because I had so many people then turn point like, he's an asshole. I'm like, first of all, I don't think he is at all. Second of all, you really like that's your reason for not going is because you just think he's a little mean. You know, you think you agree with him on most things, and he promotes a lot of the values you promote. Like, come on, get a grip, people. But I want to read the rest of this real quick because it says his presence on campus is a direct threat to the safety of the entire LGBT QIA plus community. It's a threat to the entire community. Speech that incites actions that harm others.
What actions?
That's
Praying.
that's my question. And also, he was one of them at one point, so like, how would he be harming them? Too?
Because he's not one anymore, so we can all go after him and lynch him now. Speech incites actions that harm others should not be permitted at our university, and Penn State must do better in their efforts to support LGBTQIA plus community at Penn State. See the link tree for other bullshit. Okay. My issue here, I need to emphasize with this do better Penn State bullshit that everybody in Turning Point CRs is reposting because they're a bunch of bitch cucks, is what does that mean? What does do better Penn State mean? It only means two things.
Well, do better is just in general a word salad phrase now. It doesn't mean
Well, how do you do better? There's only one way. There's only one way, actually. I was going to say, too, but there's only one way. You cancel this event. That's what they're all calling for. Anybody that reposts this is calling for censorship.
Yeah.
It's a cheap overused line that really doesn't have any meaning anymore.
Because what else is Penn State supposed to do? They've already condemned it. The only other thing they could do is censor it by canceling it. And that's what all of these free speech warriors from Turning Point are telling them to do.
But Sean,
they're either too dumb to know that, or they're just virtue signaling because they're pathetic. And I think it's kind of both, to be honest, but it pisses me off either way.
Sean, let me ask you real quick though. Would you feel better? I'm trying to think of how to ask this, but would it be better to you if they just said we want you to cancel the event as opposed to do better?
You mean Turning Point people saying that?
Yeah, like if they were just
yeah, because they'd be more honest. At least they'd at least be honest. I mean, they'd still be hypocrites, but they'd be honest. I just like I will take honesty over anything because this bitchy do better Penn State like pathetic reposting of this is just it is the lowest tier I've ever seen these people go. And I know I've been ranting and raving a lot, but I just have to say that this event is showing people's true colors. It really is. I noticed this with past ones, but not like a little bit, but like nothing like this. This is showing me who my real friends are, the people that really care about free speech, the people that are actually genuine, the people that actually have a pair of balls versus the people who say they're for free speech and aren't, versus the people who say they're big tough guys and aren't, versus the people who are supportive and who are not. And I understand, like, if you're scared about getting doxxed, that's a legitimate concern. My pet peeve of these people that are being weak is where they're like putting out their statements, reposting this thing. It's like you don't need to do it. You're just doing it because you don't want to lose friends, and you're being very, you're compromising your values for that. If you want to come to this event like decked out in masks because you're scared of getting doxxed, bro, I don't blame you for a second because the people doing it are evil. But if you're like, oh, I'm scared to go to this event because the CR board might fire me or they might kick me out of the club. First of all, the CRs, that's pathetic, and you're even more pathetic.
Imagine being scared of the college Republicans.
yeah.
Probably the most incompetent party on campus.
Yeah. Imagine being scared of the most incompetent beta party on campus.
Well,
oh god.
One of the things I mean, it didn't take me back because they did it before, but like the college Democrats, when they wrote their disavowal letter, basically.
I couldn't wait for it. It was great.
Yeah.
Not as good as the last one, but it was good.
They kind of ended it with they want Penn State to cancel the event. They want you to
Yeah.
cut the charter, uncensor
UPUA said the same
America.
thing, by the way. Student government said the same thing.
Right. So here's the thing. Here's my rebuttal to that one. Right. Um, free speech is actually a foundational liberal value. It is. But
Oh, yeah.
liberals value free speech. True liberals value free speech. By you admitting that you want this thing canceled and you want a free speech organization dechartered from Penn State, you are turning your back on one of the foundational parts of being a liberal, right? Which means you're likely not a liberal organization.
Well,
So
Phil, I mean, let's be honest. Real liberals have not existed for the last 40 years.
I consider myself a liberal.
I do too, but like I consider myself like a classical liberal. But
Old school liberal.
But what I'm saying is in the Democrat Party, they don't exist anymore.
No, I mean, well, I could agree with that. Well, I mean, they're being like I would say that they probably exist, but they're overpowered.
Name one.
They're overpowered by the establishment, by socialists, by all this stuff. Well, I'll tell you what. I do kind of like Manchin and Cinema, right? I do.
Are they
like
really
them.
Democrat? Well, Cinema's a Democrat, but is Manchin really a Democrat?
Well, I mean,
he's more of a dino.
Yeah, but I mean, but he has,
and that's my point: is that you can't be a Democrat and be a liberal.
That's I mean, in today's world,
yeah.
That's pretty much the truth now.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, and I'm like, it's fucked up when we've become more liberal than the people who claim that they're liberals, right?
Yeah.
Really fucked up, right?
Yeah, it's like I always tell people, like, I don't really care if you're gay, straight, or or whatever, or if you want to do like, in fact, like, I advocate for like a gay couple being able to smoke pot and defend themselves with an AK.
Oh God, that's a fucking meme.
I mean, it is a meme.
Is it a meme?
It is. I mean, it's a meme, but sometimes memes are true too.
Yeah, I guess that's I can understand that.
By the way, okay, so one of the main lines. Here's another rebuttal that I have. We're gonna have at least a few more rebuttals here. One of the main lines that we were told on both social media and otherwise was that the individual is both inflammatory and controversial. And my rebuttal to that is almost every social improvement in our world today has began with somebody doing something or saying something that is both inflammatory and controversial to someone, right?
Indeed.
So, right. So, I mean, you look at like voter rights and slavery and all that stuff, and equal rights and all that stuff, like all these social things, all these improvements that have been made over the years. Those opinions were deemed inflammatory. They were deemed controversial at one point in American history by someone. Right?
Where in the chat asks, what's the difference between classical liberal and libertarian? I mean,
libertarians are pussies and classical liberals aren't.
Right.
I don't know what the hell a libertarian is. They have no identity. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Like there's some points that I agree with, but that like a lot of these libertarians have no fucking identity at all. That's why they don't win any elections. Nobody. The people look at them and they're like, "Who the fuck are they?" Right? And I asked that question. I'm like, "You're right. Who the fuck are they?" There's libertarians that came on this campus that had no identity at all. In fact, there was one speaker at Penn State. There was one libertarian person that spoke at Penn State. He ended up caucusing with the fucking Republicans because nobody knew who the fuck he was. Right?
Well, and even like libertarians, like there are so many like subgroups of libertarians that it's
there's so many little things that nobody knows. Like they have no identity. If you have 1 million identities, you have no identity, right?
Yeah,
I agree. Totally agree.
Sean says it. I'm take a page out of Sean's thing. When you try to appeal to everyone, you appeal to no one, right?
Damn straight. Damn straight.
And like, yeah, it's just it's incredible to me that like I mean the choice words and what we're living with is a whole bunch of people that are using a whole bunch of definitions that they've flipped around and changed and altered to mean whatever the fuck they want to mean. That you know, and this is by design too. Like they're trying to confuse because confusion is control, right? And what better way to control than to confuse people than to change definitions of terms that already exist? Like, it's like okay, so the term racist, you have certain like what does it mean? Obviously, it means we know what the definition of it is, but then you get these other definitions like the privilege plus power, okay, which is the dumbest definition ever, but you know that's where we are. That's what we deal with, right? That's what we're dealing with. It's like, so then it's like they use it to weaponize it to make sure basically they're trying to weaponize it to where that term is going to mean anything that I disagree with is ists and phobics, right? That's, you know, that's what we're dealing with. But I mean,
by the way, whoever this Drew Pickles guy is in the comment of the CR statement, you dropped your crown king because holy shit, who got 32 likes and ratioed the fuck almost as ratioing the CRs.
That's funny. Fuck the
Everybody
CRs,
in
man.
chat, find this fucking tweet, like Drew Pickles. He's 3 likes away from ratioing the CRs. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Because you have you hear Drew Pickles, you have the most likes of all the commenters combined, but so close to ratioing the CRs. Like, let's fucking go. And the joke is, you know, the person, if anybody's seen the thread that Drew Pickles is arguing with in the thread, a particular person, that person wrote the statement, by the way. You can find that out on your own, but I know for a fact who wrote this statement. It was not the CR president. It was the person who you were arguing with. You know who that is, right? Yeah. Oh, look who liked the tweet. Look who liked the tweet. Michael Straw. Ah. He would. Let's see who else liked it. This is the CR tweet, by the way. So Michael did. Curtis Hauk. I don't know who that is, but he's verified. Their VP. Oh, why did he like it? Cringe. I know these people. Cringe. Oh, cringe. You people suck. The one that tried to run for BP and failed. She liked it. Oh, you people suck. But let's dive into, before it gets any too late, Turning Point. We need to talk about that. What basically happened was I had the announcement ready to go on Friday. And I had talked to the president Turning Point. We're all cool with advertising it, shit like that. And then I even made sure the day of, I said, hey, can I announce the MILO event in the announcements chat? He said, sure, go for it. Boom, I posted it. And then 2 seconds later, I was banned from the chat. The ex-president of Turning Point was banned from the Turning Point chat. And it was done by one person. And from what I know, the president was cool with me and everything, but the rest of the board freaked out. And he decided to go along with what they did. And then the person who banned me started debating me, and I could tell he obviously didn't know who MILO was, and obviously was believing all the fake news about him. And this person doesn't really believe in anything to begin with. And there was no point in arguing with him because he just wasn't listening, even though I kind of was able to pull him a little bit, and so was Phil. We kind of got him to a better place. And for me, it was only through just like some quick little comments, but then they send out an email saying alumni cannot attend the next meeting. I wonder who that's targeted towards. I wonder who. I went anyway, sat the fuck down, and I was on my phone most of the time. But what's the topic they're talking about? MILO coming to campus. But I got on a little later because I wanted to kind of surprise them to piss them off just a little bit more. Because they probably thought they
Have
were in
them
the
call
clear.
the police. Have them call the fucking cops.
Yes, I wanted them to.
Make them look like shit.
Yeah. Free speech warriors as I get arrested. But no, they just gave me some very dirty looks, which was funny.
Well,
But they're talking about the event, and they already disavowed it, and at the meeting apparently, and they're like, "We want to associate." Well, you're not. Okay, I already said it wasn't a Turning Point event. Like, get real. But then, so they basically banned me from the meeting. But what the irony is, that is totally against their constitution. Shows they don't even know what they're doing. Their constitution has voting members and associate members. Voting members, you attend X number of meetings, you can vote. Associate members can literally be anybody, and you can do anything you want with the club other than hold office, vote, and deal finances. So anybody can show up to their meetings, and they have to suck it, and they can do whatever they want. They can cry, they can do whatever they want, but guess what? Anybody can go to your meetings, so deal with it.
Mm.
yeah. So,
What were your feelings about it, Phil?
No, I agree. I agree with you totally. It's like, and I think as a former president, you should be allowed to go to any of those meetings that you want to, especially when it's in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Static's going on again, by the way.
so my question is, it's kind of ironic because wasn't Turning Point, didn't they used to be like buddies with MILO?
Yeah, in the early days they used to be, and then they started making up lies about him and blacklisted him.
So yeah, so it's kind of funny. Things I guess are kind of going full circle in a very weird way.
Yeah, and once again, it's showing people's true colors. They think this Pray the Gay Away title is the worst thing ever, and I'm like, come on, guys. He's obviously being funny and provocative. Lighten up.
Yeah, well,
but there's also a little bit of a truth behind about his story of rediscovering Catholic faith and refraining from gay activities.
well, it's a troll. That's what it is.
Yeah, and they took the bait. They all took the bait, and you deserve to get the hook, line, and sinker for it.
Yeah.
Oh, and the student government, allegedly, according to the news articles, if I had known about this, I would have been there laughing my ass off. They spent most of their meeting talking about the event.
That's hilarious.
And then they disavowed.
Larry asks, is this the Penn State in Philly? Yes, it is, Larry.
No, it's not the Penn. Okay.
No, it's the main campus. Yeah,
There's no Penn State in Philly. There's
No,
one in
there-
Abington.
yeah, I think.
There's that one.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so one of our buddies, and I mean that term loosely,
Mhm.
was getting into the Twitter mess too, and he's like, I don't disagree with Milo's right to be here, and I don't find any value out of it because we all know what he's gonna say, and it's not gonna open any conversation. My retort.
Wait.
It's your buddy. It's
is
your buddy.
Hold up.
Yes, it is your buddy.
is okay. I was gonna
Our
ask.
buddy, meaning your buddy too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. That's
Yep.
because I was gonna say you were reading, and I'm like, that sounds exactly like someone
Yep.
I know. I'm
He's
not.
in the
Guessed
chat.
correctly. You guessed correctly.
Hi,
so-
Jeff.
So I don't. Yeah, he's like, I mean, you kind of he kind of disagrees. I mean, I don't believe that totally. And he's like, I don't find any value out of it. Guess what? There's a whole bunch of ticket sales that have been happening. There's a whole lot of donations that have been happening. There's a whole lot of all this negative press, all this thing. That's value, right? That is someone values
Good point.
this person enough to
Well,
destroy his signs, to disavow, for all of these people to disavow him, and for all of these people to donate money to get the ticket sales. That's that's what we call value, right? So if somebody's willing to do that, then yeah, dude has value. And he's like, and we all know because we all know what he's gonna say. Bullshit. You're trying to tell me if you could guess the actions that Milo has taken over the last 3 years, give me your fucking crystal ball, bitch, because I'm robbing that fucker. Because like nobody knew.
Yes.
Nobody knew. Like this is Milo has been one of the most unpredictable dudes out there, right? And it's like, and these people are like, oh, we knew it was coming. Bullshit, you did, right? Did you think you thought that this one-time gay conservative Jew who was married to black people would all of a sudden re-find God, drop the gay thing, and then work to build some sort of a center for therapy? No story. M. Night Shyamalan couldn't make this fucking shit up. Okay, are you kidding me? I don't even agree. I don't even agree with a lot of the stuff that he says. But I'm like, look,
I do.
You gotta call balls and strikes, dude. It's like nobody saw this shit coming. All right.
I know. And my problem is, why is everybody saying these things as basically, and they don't flat out say, but you know that's what they're saying. They're basically saying we don't want him to speak for these arbitrary reasons.
Yeah. Oh, and then the last line. Oh, and it's not going to open any conversation.
Look up a Q&A.
It already has. It already has sparked conversation.
yeah,
That's
literally,
true.
Jeff.
His
Jeff,
Uncensored
Jeff.
America's post.
If you,
Uncensored. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Jeff, if you're listening to this later on Spotify, which I know you will, buddy, because you're my friend. You're Mr. Sociology, and you have said to me that you believe all opinions should be heard. So therefore, based on that argument alone, wouldn't Milo coming to Penn State add value?
Ooh. I like that one.
Right? That good point, Sam. Back to the open, not opening any conversations part. Sean's the Uncensored America post has like 400 and some over 450 comments on that fucker. Okay,
I'll pull it up to prove it.
that
to people.
sounds like conversation to me.
Send me the link so I can put it up on my screen too.
It actually has 489 to be precise.
Okay, all right. So I was off by like 30 some. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Like, so seriously, that's literally conversation. Twitter blew up, right? Twitter blew up when this whole fucking thing happened. I know, because I was a part of it, right?
Yeah.
Conversations were happening, right?
And let's not just forget, too, that we just said that UPUA spent the majority of their meeting, which is usually like hours long, talking about this. That's a conversation.
That's the conversation.
Not even to mention all the group me's that have been like, we've been living rent free in. Our group me with that one dude was like an 8-hour tirade. He was going on against Milo, and then went to bed, and then went on another 8-hour tirade the next day. And then the CR one has been nonstop for like days about this.
Yeah. Q News. Q News on YouTube, right? They had a conversation about this event, right?
I hear the letter Q and I want to strangle somebody. Continue.
Oh, it's probably related to that too.
The
It's not
LGBT.
Yeah.
No, it's an LGBTQ.
Oh, that
Right.
Q. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, not
Like give Q and
not the weird,
Unfortunate name.
not the tinfoil hat Q shit. Anyway.
Okay.
Kachu.
They had a conversation, and honestly, they actually defended the right to free speech quite a little bit. Like, of course, none of them really agreed all that much with the person as expected, but at least they were like, there were panelists there that were like, oh, we're the free speech is super important, right? Is important. And that's the thing, right? We're starting conversations, right? The conversations are happening, right? So it's like, oh, it's not going to start any conversation. They're already, he hasn't even fucking showed up yet. And the conversations are already happening. And
I can tell you too.
That adds value too, right? That adds value too. So anyway, what were you saying, Sean?
Well, I was going to add a bit more insight to that to prove your point even further, which is that I was telling you guys this, but when I say everybody on campus knows about this event, I mean literally everybody. I mean, I've never seen anything like it where everyone knows about one particular event from specifically a club that nobody's heard of till now.
At least 2 professors that we know of in Penn State have already lost their shit in class because of this fucking event, right? Yeah. Yo, it's a conversation. It's shit happening. Now, grant you, it might not be the conversation that you want to have.
Yeah.
But it's still a conversation nonetheless.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
And multiple professors have talked about it, but I've been like walking around, or even people said this that have been in class, they'll hear people talking about it. When I was in the hub, I heard people talking about like, oh my God, that Milo sign's so crazy. Oh my God, who's this Milo guy? I see it in group meetings like, hey, anybody going to the Milo event? And then I hear people saying in class, I hear people talking about it is everywhere. And if you want to put a monetary value on it, I can send you the screenshot of the money we made, and it's in 7-digit length number before the cents, of course. It's 7 figure. No, it's not 7 figures. You get my point.
Dude, one of the reasons why I'm covering
4 figures, sorry. 4 figures, I can't do math. Sorry, continue.
One of the reasons why I'm covering this on my show, because I know my audience is thinking, okay, well, great, Sam. Why are you covering this? You don't go to Penn State, you're in Florida. Well, because this has gotten national attention. And even colleges in other states are talking about this, that Milo is in fact back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, have you seen posts about that from other colleges? I'm curious.
I've seen some from like other friends that I can send you maybe in private.
Oh, cool.
So
Nice. Well, I can tell you too. I've heard from 2 people that want to start a Uncensored America chapter on their campus, and these aren't small schools. These aren't the bumblefuck nowhere like community college or something like that. You know, and I have nothing against those colleges, but like people think that this is just like, you know, rednecks that would want to do this. No, I'm talking like legit public universities, like big ones, big ass ones. Not just like right wing university in the middle of Alabama. No, I mean in this state and in other states close by. So that could have some big potential down the road.
Yes.
Yeah. But we've actually talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like there's a vacuum. There's literally a vacuum for this sort of thing, right? Because you have all over the place, all over the country, all over colleges everywhere. You have these organizations that claim that they are free speech. That is one of their claims, right? When it comes to college Republicans, Turning Point, whatever. All these other, only to find out that they only stand for free speech when it meets their political narrative. When it doesn't meet their political narrative, they tend to want nothing to do with it. They tend to want the same fucking disavowal or canceling or whatever that, you know, every other organization has. And it's like, look, and we've talked about this before. If you can't defend the speech that you don't agree with, then you're not pro free speech. You're
Exactly. Yep.
So,
there's no if, oh, maybe kind of. No, you're just not. Period.
There's things I don't like. Me personally, there's things I don't like about some of the stuff
Everybody.
that Milo Yiannopoulos says. And
anybody.
Yet I want him on campus. Like if I would rather have him on, I want to have him on campus because I want to debate the guy, right? If I disagree with some of the things he says, I want the ability to debate the guy. And that is right there. That is one of the pillars of Uncensored America. Like, free speech means whatever you stand for, you should be, if you have an opinion or whatever, you should be willing to debate and defend what you believe in. And if you don't, then you need to start, doing more research and acquiring more perspective, because
Absolutely.
that's literally how that's literally how personal improvement happens, right? You and I talk about something and I have my opinion, you have your opinion, and maybe you bring something to the table that I don't know about, so then you bring it to my attention, and then I research it, or then and then maybe I learn something new and I improve because of it as a person, right? The whole point of free speech is that, like, one of the main points of free speech is self-improvement via, bringing a multitude of ideas to the table.
Well, Phil,
go ahead.
Well, Phil, that's how it used to be back in the old days. Now everyone just screams on Twitter and social media until someone gets banned.
Oh, we're bringing it back, Daddy.
Yes, we are. This is going to be, like, because, another thing that pisses me off is when you see these events by other organizations who say, we're fighting cancel culture. We're going to do an event on cancel culture. And who do they bring to speak? Nobody who has actually been fucking canceled. We're bringing somebody who's legitimately been canceled multiple times, who's been banned off of every social media platform, who has had his life ruined, who has been slandered and smeared repeatedly. I think he qualifies as somebody that's been canceled. I think he's the guy that we should be hearing things from.
Not only is he someone who has been canceled, he's the guy who has been canceled.
Yeah, like him and Alex Jones. Yeah, they're like neck and neck for most canceled. And and the thing too is, people are going to be like, I mean, you can't call us partisan from this. Everybody's just about us. Everybody.
Yeah.
From the left and the right.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus. I mean, and it's funny. It's really funny, and it's like, and I'll be all honest with you. When I first got banned from the Turning Point chat, my first reaction was laughter. I thought it was funny. I really thought it was funny. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, that's pretty disrespectful, and you guys suck.
Yeah. Also, there's like we've got like, I don't want to say a list, but we've got ideas for like the next speaker that we might bring, and some of the names are literally all over the place.
Yeah.
Literally all over the political spectrum. Like, it's just like, because I like, it's like, if it sparks a conversation, we're all about it. We're all about it. Like, and it's like, well, and here, let me say one more thing, right? One of the things was like, one of the main complaints was like, oh, well, did you have to bring somebody that was so like that was so that was attention seeking, or that was that was so
Provocative, controversial.
Yeah, controversial, all that shit. And I'm like,
yes.
That's the point.
Most of,
well,
absolutely, because it starts a conversation. The provocative, the controversial, it starts a conversation. If it's non-controversial, because if you bring somebody that's less controversial, nobody really talks about that. It's
exactly.
Like, well, here's what I would say though. Milo has been out of the limelight for so long. Wouldn't you want to see how he's changed? Because maybe he's changed differently. Maybe,
and he has in many ways.
Maybe
the fact that he was out, and it's like, and you know what, and this is another thing that made Sean's move genius, right? The fact that he was out of the limelight for so long, and the minute that he announced it, it was like he never left.
well, but this is what I'm saying though. People are going off old assumptions, really old assumptions at this point.
The reaction, but I'm saying the reaction from these kids is like, he never left. Like, if nothing has changed. Like, he's like the same.
He was still rent free in their brains.
By bitching and doing all your bullshit, you've literally raised him from the fucking dead. Like, your stupidity fucking raised him from the dead. I just like,
hey, don't reveal our secret.
Well, no, I mean, this isn't.
I'm kidding.
This isn't rocket science. Like
yeah, I know.
Like, it's just amazing how many people just either don't get it or just too stupid to get it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they take the bait every time, even when they're told. Let me pull back up the Penn State statement. They were even freely told by Penn State, don't go to this because you're giving in to what he wants. And there are still lots of people going to go to it to protest it.
But in all reality, when somebody when an establishment tells you not to go to something, how many people are going to fucking go? I mean, come on.
Well, that's
what else can they do?
Well, they can disavow 3 times, but that's been the other responses. There's a lot of people coming because they agree with Milo, like Milo, followed him, like me, or they're just coming out of interest. Like, what the fuck is this about? They don't even know him. They're like, what the fuck this is about? But the Turning Point people who were instantly hostile towards me, ban me from the chat, ban me from meetings, are now coming around. They're like, wow, the reaction from the left is so egregious, so we have to come to this. Like, it makes me more interested. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what I've been telling you guys?
A couple of them are going.
Yes, they are.
We disavow them, but we're going.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. At least the CRs are like, yeah, we're disavowing, we're not going because we're pussies. I'm like, okay. Turning Point's more hypocritical here.
I bet you a few of them are going too.
Definitely.
If I see them, I am gonna fucking have a little talk with them and be like, "Hey, is this so and so from the College Republicans? Oh my God, this is a dangerous event. What are you doing here? It's too dangerous for you. Shouldn't come here. You get fired from your own board position. I mean, what are you doing here? You must condone this event. You must condone homophobia. You must be a bigot. I don't know about UCRs."
Exactly.
Yeah, this is the part in Penn State statement I was mentioning. I'll read real quick, and then I'm going to shut up, let you guys say anything you want before we close her out. They said, "We hope instead that students and other members of our community will avoid being baited into reacting." Yeah, fuck you, you did. As Yiannopoulos wishes. First of all, mind reading much? Doing otherwise will only ensure the national attention provocateur craze. Yeah, we got in the hill, fuck you. And upon which his brand of hate, is fueled and spread. Instead, if you oppose bigotry, misogyny, transphobia, and we kind of are transphobic, and anyone who's determined, I'm kidding, determined to make their living by dividing us. Okay, he makes his living by dividing us. Yeah, he's the one doing that.
He will not divide us.
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting those vibes from Penn
Right.
State.
Yeah, like no, you're watching. No, but you're gonna sit down and watch CNN and MSNBC that do it every fucking
day.
day.
Yeah,
Oh,
24/7 too.
Oh no, Phil. Those are just news organizations, don't you know?
Yeah.
This is the best part. Make that opposition known by uniting against Yiannopoulos in the most effective way possible, by ignoring him. Commit yourself instead to expressing care and support for those who are the object of his hate. Unifies an empathetic, compassionate, and thoughtful university community that stands as one.
You know how many people wrote that? You know how many organizations wrote a letter like that at Penn State? So much for fucking ignoring that guy.
Yeah.
You created a whole event just to counter this fucking event. Yeah. So much for ignoring that guy.
You know that's kind of what the that Antifa like looking dude was saying when he was naming me. He's like, "Sean is not worth our time," and I'm like, "Clearly it is.
You're clearly here. He's not worth our time. You're literally here because of him, right?"
I know, it's so funny. I can't wait to run into that guy again. Outside the hub. I hope he comes back because I'm more prepared this time. I'm gonna go full roast mode on him.
You know what? That's like the dude that got rejected by the chick, and then he responds by saying, "You know what? Ain't nobody wanted to fuck you anyway." Like,
yeah. So, you kind of did.
Yeah.
Many times.
You kind of.
What a pathetic punch. Oh, it's funny. But see, Penn State's literally inciting people not to attend this event. Like, they're rallying the troops. They're like, "No, don't go, please. Please don't go. Please don't burn down Thomas Building." I mean, it shows us how, they know their own side's violent. They know their own side is hateful. But they won't admit it. But it's funny.
I was looking at there was a news piece from a news station in Altoona or something like that, and anyway, they butchered the fucking name. They butchered.
That one was hilarious.
Yeah, it's like they butchered
MILO, Yiannopoulos.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck was that? Come on, and but they interviewed. They interviewed somebody from the college Dems or whatever.
That was the president. Yep.
Okay, so have you ever seen the movie Orphan?
Oh my gosh! Stop.
Dude,
yeah.
It looks like she looks like that lady, that little girl, but she's like if she grew up, gained weight,
oh my god, she does.
Started taking psych meds, gained a shit ton of acne, fucking and was just eating chocolate out of fucking depression because she wasn't getting enough dick. Right, that's exactly what she looks like right now. I'm like, oh my god, because that's the second I was like, she looks like the orphan chick, but She looks like if the orphan chick just gave up on life right now. Like, what the fuck?
You know, one of my like retorts I've thought of against these people to call them homophobic. I have to be careful how I word it so it doesn't actually like own myself. But I was thinking of saying something like, "Oh, he's homophobic." I'd be like, "Yeah, he sucked more dick than you have," you know, because these people, most of them are just sexless. But like it's funny you compare it to like a movie character because like his agent was doing the exact same thing. With this chick that I think that was from Always Sunny, something McPherson, I forget the name, but he made the same like he made another comparison. But I think what did she say? She said like his like he had like violent rhetoric or something. Let me find it. But yeah, the ideas at this event are explicitly violent against LGBT people. Fucking how?
Yeah, that's my exact question. How?
And he pronounced it MILO Yiannopoulos. I think it was Yiannopoulos is what he said. What a moron.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think we should wrap this up. In conclusion, gentlemen, what are you hoping happens? What do you think will happen in reality?
I'm hoping Milo tells the opening joke that he's already told me because it will make people just die. Like when you talk about we know what he's gonna say, you don't know what this opening joke is. Holy shit.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking edgy. I'll just say it's a so and so did nothing wrong joke.
Well, if it's close to any of the ones I've made in the past few weeks, then it ought to be a doozy. So
It's not the one. It's not the go-to one people use. That's a meme of a particular person from the 1940s.
Yeah, Mike Pence probably.
It's way edgier. Mike Pence, way edgier.
Although, yeah, it won't make sense. He did do a lot of things wrong. Not
Yeah,
related to the Shockey.
yeah. No, it's somebody else. It's on edgy. It
But-
came up with the joke when I point something out in the college dem statements, and oh my god! Obviously, you guys are gonna find it funny now, but I'll just tell you, it would be the best way to open this thing.
Well, you don't have to tell us live on air. We can reveal it next time. For the
Oh, good teaser! Good teaser for the end. I like it.
Yes.
So
That's true. Next show, we'll be talking about whatever the fuck happened.
yep.
Oh yeah.
Think of this as like the prequel show, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing a
Yep.
prequel podcast. The event is on November
3rd.
8
Year after
p.m.
year anniversary of 2020 election.
8 p.m. And I won't be there obviously because I'm in Florida, but I will be very interested to see if there's like a live stream or something so that I can watch.
Yeah. There won't be a live stream, but we will film it. And I'm giving the footage to Milo definitely to upload to Church Militant, which he works for now. And I will have my own copy, and so I will upload to YouTube, of course. Probably on the Uncensored America YouTube channel, maybe some other places, I don't know quite yet. Maybe just there. But if you want tickets and you're still listening, go to uncensoredamerica.us/MiloPSU, and free and paid tickets are all there. And we encourage, as we've said repeatedly, we encourage everybody to come with an open mind, an open heart, and have an open discussion. And you'll have a good time. It's going to be fun. It's going to be comedic. It's going to be entertaining with some commentary and some provocativeness weaved in, and some quality roasting of some political organizations that may or not be at Penn State and that may or may not be totally full of shit.
That all sounds fun, and I wish this is the one time I wish I were in Pennsylvania this time of year. So. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for coming on the Whitfield Report and giving us an inside scoop. We really appreciate it. So
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun
Always
getting all
fun.
this off my chest.
Always a blast. Always
Yes.
a blast.
I bet it feels good. And folks, I want to thank you for tuning in, and thanks for bearing with me tonight as we got stuff set up in the beginning. And I hope you all have a very happy Halloween. I might do a stream tomorrow for Halloween. I haven't decided yet, but if I do, I will let you know. Apex should be back next week as well. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. God bless. God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy in that order. And I'll see you on the next live stream. God bless.